Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching NDTV and this is the last word. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, speaking in his home state of Gujarat today, said the centre is leaving no stone unturned to ensure farmers' welfare. He was addressing farmers at the state of Golden Jubilee celebrations of the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation in Ahmedabad. Remember, Gujarat is known for its cooperative movement and also the self-sufficiency it gave to its women, the poor women.
हम किसानों को सोलर पंप दे रहे हैं, खेत की मेड़ पर ही छोटे छोटे सोलर प्लांट लगाने के लिए मदद दे रहे हैं। इसके अलावा गोवर्धन योजना के तहत पशुपालकों से गोबर भी खरीदने की व्यवस्था बनाई जा रही है। गोबर से जो हमारे डेयरी प्लांट हैं, वहां बिजली पैदा की जा रही है।
Later in the day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also left for Varanasi, his parliamentary constituency that he has regularly visited in the last 9 years. From his home state and adopted state, the Prime Minister's poll bugle just days before the parliamentary elections date gets announced is very important. Now, this comes at a time India Blocs seat-sharing deal has been finalized in Uttar Pradesh for the Lok Sabha polls, with the Congress set to contest on 17 seats, and Akhilesh Yadav has finally agreed to join Rahul Gandhi's Nyaya Yatra.
जाएंगे, हम यात्रा में जाएंगे और उनका बहुत जल्दी विस्तृत कार्यक्रम आने वाला है। जो आगरा में कार्यक्रम होगा, उसमें विस्तृत कार्यक्रम आने के बाद मैं शामिल होऊंगा।
Remember, as Rahul Gandhi walked into Bengal, Mamata Banerjee had walked out, and in Bihar too, Nitish Kumar had jumped ship to the BJP. In Delhi, the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party are also on the verge of a deal to divide Delhi's 7 Lok Sabha seats, but some reservations remain.
अभी बातचीत चल रही है, हमें उम्मीद है कि जल्दी क्लोज होगी।
Now, how does India's political landscape look in the run-up to 2024 polls? There is no doubt that both Ram and Roshan have given the BJP reasons to be more confident than ever. But how is the opposition trying to stack up its cards? How is it going to play out in West Bengal, where there's a three-corner test shaping up? Will the seat-sharing arrangements finalized now last to see the polls? Those are the questions we are asking tonight. Joining me is a panel of guests. But before that, let's look at some reactions. Okay, joining me tonight is Salman Soz, who's the spokesperson of the Congress. We also have Guru Prakash Paswan, who's the spokesperson of the BJP. We have Jasmine Shah, who's the spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. And we have political analyst Aarti Jairat joining us on this broadcast. Let me go across to Jasmine Shah first. Jasmine, what is finally the future of this alliance between Aam Aadmi Party and Congress in Delhi? Of course, I heard that there are some deals that are being worked out. Jasmine, also tell us that is this a lesson that you learned from 2019? Because we all remember this offer that Rahul Gandhi had made then, and Arvind Kejriwal was not receptive to that. Is this a lesson learned? Clearly, because in assembly seats, your party still has a dominant vote share.
Well, 5 years is a long time in politics, but today we are standing in 2024. And despite all the efforts by BJP to break the India alliance, I think the worst fear of BJP has come true. The India alliance is at the final stages of seat sharing talks as far as Aam Aadmi Party and Congress are concerned. And this affects not just the state of Delhi, but it also affects many other states like Gujarat, Haryana, and a few others. So we are very optimistic. We are now at the final stages. Maybe in a day or two, an official announcement should be made. And I think after that, BJP will be held accountable for all the misdeeds and misgovernance that it has been indulging in. Their best hope was that there will be no challenger to Modi. There will be no single opponent standing in front of a BJP candidate. Because if that happens, they will be held accountable to via the farmers protesting on the streets of Punjab and Haryana border. Why is it that the youth are without jobs? Why is it that a gas cylinder is at 900 and 1,000 rupees when it was 400 rupees when Modi ji took over the power? So there are numerous such questions that the Modi government has no answers to because it has utterly failed in delivering anything substantial. And I think in the last few days, whatever has happened in terms of the India alliance, the UP has been sealed. In Delhi, in Haryana, in Gujarat, we are at the last stage. So I think the people of India can hold a lot of hope that the abuse of constitution, we just saw in Chandigarh mayoral polls how BJP was caught red-handed rigging the electoral process in front of a CCTV camera. And I think it is a matter of fear for every Indian today that if BJP accumulates more power, there is nothing to stop them to almost trash the constitution, to subvert our democracy, which has never happened in the last 75
Okay, let me
years.
go
So I
across
think
to
India
Salman
Alliance is the
Soz with
last
this
hope
question.
for the people.
Mr. Soz, you heard Jasmine speak on, of course, the opposition politics and the prospects of it. But, many have also said that Rahul Gandhi, instead of focusing on the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra, should have paid attention to allies. Do you think this could have worked out, at some level to retain some allies such as TMC or even JDU? Because it's being seen as a personal project as opposed to a party building exercise which could have actually helped the opposition alliance.
I think this is a very strange question because as far as I know, the Congress president is Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. Rahulji is our former president. He is our inspirational leader. He is out there fighting, to my mind, the biggest battle of our times. And, whatever he's doing is in some ways laying the foundation for not just the Congress party, but for the entire opposition to the RSS BJP project in India. So he has his work and our party organization has its own work, which is led by Khargeji. And Khargeji, I think, is doing a great job of bringing together others in opposition who are fighting for India's democracy. I mean, look what's happening on the borders of Delhi. We are treating those people who put food at our tables, we are treating them as terrorists. We're barricading Delhi. Is this the India-China border? What is happening in this country? I mean, a young person lost his life in these protests. More than 700 farmers died when these black laws have been brought in.
We talk about the farmers' protest, but, I completely get that. But, when you talk about alliances, you've seen different leaders walk out of alliances of the India Alliance, India Bloc. And, in some ways, India Bloc has weakened in the last few months. Wouldn't the Congress take responsibility of this because it is the largest opposition party?
To be quite honest with you, people have walked out. There's no doubt about it. People have walked out. Some people have walked out, but many others have stayed. And ultimately, what happens is that you can keep punching us, but I think that is going to make us stronger. The ones who remain are going to be at the core of fighting for India's democracy. And, I know people have left. I mean, there are lots of people under pressure because of, agencies, or they're being given inducements. Some are made Rajya Sabha MPs, some are given chief ministerships. In some ways, I feel bad for the BJP. The people who worked for the BJP for many years, they're given nothing.
Okay, let me put this question to Guru Prasad Paswan. Mr. Paswan, how do you heard the spokesperson of both Aam Aadmi Party and Congress speak. Now, Aam Aadmi Party Congress seat sharing deal seems to be working out in Delhi and other states, and this is happening after Congress and Samajwadi Party seat sharing arrangements worked out. Now, this is being seen as a major, success in the India opposition bloc. Do you see this as a potent counter to welfare or the temple or the infra pitch that the Prime Minister has been emphasizing on?
No, Vasudha, I think it's not new. In Congress, in Uttar Pradesh, we saw UP ke ladke coming together in 2019 as well. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav doing joint rallies. What happened? Our vote share rose. And second, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress Party, they enjoy a very interesting relationship. But let me give you a data. In 2019 Lok Sabha election, Vasudha, the combined vote share of Aam Aadmi Party and Congress was 40%. And the vote share of BJP was 57%. A whooping 17% more votes than combined vote share of Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress Party. Second, my friend from the Aam Aadmi Party mentioned abuse of constitution. Abuse of constitution. Let me remind your viewers that Aam Aadmi Party runs through a constitution. And Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, the Sarve Sarva, the president of Aam Aadmi Party, has made himself the permanent president of Aam Aadmi Party. Is this not abuse of constitutional values? Is this not dictatorship? Then what else is dictatorship? Now coming to Mr. Soz, the spokesperson of the Congress party, who is giving lectures on India's democracy on the Delhi border. Let me remind him that a true democracy is an inclusive democracy. A true democracy is a diverse democracy. For the first time in the last 75 years, Vasudha, we saw a woman from tribal community reaching the highest constitutional office in the country, becoming the president for the first time now. This is true democracy, sir. For the first time, we saw a powerful prime minister coming from an extremely backward class community. And my friend was giving me data from 2014. In 2014, we were the 10th largest economy. Today, we are the 5th largest economy, and in a couple of years, we'll be 3rd largest economy. It is ultimately, Vasudha, the people of India. In democracy, the wisdom lies with the sovereign, and the sovereign is the people of India.
Okay, let me ask this question to Aarti Jairath. Aarti Jairath, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made it very clear in his recent speeches that it is the Congress party that is the main rival, and the Congress party has not been favourable even to the non-BJP parties, non-Congress parties, regional parties. Now, fissures within the India alliance have been very evident in the last few months. Less than 2 months to go for the polls. How do you see BJP versus opposition politics playing out?
Well, I mean, clearly, Vasudha, the BJP has the advantage. There's no question about it. They appear more united. They appear more poll-ready. They have a charismatic leader in Narendra Modi. They have a narrative ready, which consists of development and Ram Mandir and India's international stature. So all that is there, whereas the India alliance is kind of stumbling along, fumbling along, trying to get its act together. However, I would like to point out that, Nitish's departure was unfortunate, but the fact is that the RJD, which is a much bigger force in Bihar than Nitish Kumar's JDU, the RJD still remains with the Congress. And, obviously there's going to be some kind of a seat sharing between the RJD and the Congress and perhaps the CPI-ML. As far as Bengal is concerned, I think Mamta's withdrawal from India was strategic, because if the Congress and Mamta Banerjee had an alliance along with the left, the entire opposition space would have been left open for the BJP to fill. And I think that they're very, you see, in elections, things have to be also strategic. It's not just 1 + 1 = 2. You have to look at strategies, see how things pan out. For example, in Punjab, the fact that Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress are not in alliance in Punjab is again, I think, a strategic move, because if they were in alliance, then the entire opposition space would have been left open for BJP and SAD to come together and, fight them.
Right.
Now, of course, there are 4 contenders in the field, and so far SAD has not come together with the BJP. So, it's going to be a very interesting contest. So, I think that it's very easy to, kind of draw, conclusions that this is falling apart and all the rest of it. But the fact is that the India bloc is trying to put something together. And, there is a seat sharing arrangement which is likely to emerge between AAP and, Congress in Delhi. I don't know how it's going to work, because, as I said, the BJP has the big advantage, in so many ways. The, India bloc doesn't. But, I think for most of us, the question is that there should be a challenge.
Okay. Jasmine, do you think there is a challenge here? And also, I would like to ask you the question that I asked Mr. Soz. How do you see Rahul Gandhi's yatra? And, when the Prime Minister talks about, this being Bhanumati ka Kunba, do you think that the differences and the ideological moorings and, these various differences could actually also make this opposition bloc really fragile?
There has been a continuous attempt to villainize and disparage the entire effort that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is doing through the yatra. And it's understandable because, the kind of energy that even any kind of a yatra, and especially this yatra is seeing on the ground, makes BJP nervous. So it's easiest to, put out propaganda to try and bring somebody down. The harsh reality of it is that the yatra has not impeded the India alliance from coming together. In almost all the major states, India alliance is intact. And now I think the choice is in front of the voter. Ye gali galoch, tu main, you can keep doing it, but Indian voter doesn't like that. Indian voter wants a reasoned voice, and Indian voter more than anything privileges India's democracy. People want to see India grow into a strong and modern democratic nation. Modi ji wants to promise a Viksit Bharat in 2047. Wait 25 years. But you know what? Democracy will be dismantled in the next 5 years. So how are you going to a Viksit Bharat? So that, of course, BJP will never elaborate on. The harsh reality today is that we have seen umpteen examples of destabilizing opposition governments, ED and CBI being abused to arrest opposition leaders. Just today, Aam Aadmi Party did a press conference to say that CBI has now finalized, because ED has been unsuccessful at arresting Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Now, CBI has also been entered into the ring. In 2 to 4 days, we have heard that CBI is going to come arrest Arvind Kejriwal. Why? Because the India alliance has managed to go forward. As long as India alliance talks were not seeming to go anywhere, Arvind Kejriwal was not being imprisoned. But now that they are seeing that there is an actual reality in staring in their face, that be it Delhi, be it Haryana, be it Gujarat, if BJP is going to lose seats in Gujarat, imagine the kind of earthquake BJP is going to face across the nation. And that is what troubles BJP and the Modi government. And that is why, all these kinds of actions, it just shows their nervousness rather than anything.
Mr. Soos, we talked about Gujarat, but, if you look at the list of seats that the Congress is expected to fight on in Uttar Pradesh, that seems to be a collection of seats that the BJP could win easily. There is Varanasi, Kanpur, Ghaziabad. Sometimes it does feel that this... is this clubbing of, strengths of two parties, or just two parties trying to cut some votes from the BJP?
I think what you will see in this election is going to be a real fight. I think this whole notion that Prime Minister Modi keeps saying that ab ki baar 370 and 400 and all this is basically the BJP taking the Indian voter for granted. The Indian voter is not a fool. The Indian voter knows what is good for himself or herself. What we've seen in these last 10 years. I mean, think about what the Prime Minister has promised. He promised these farmers that he's going to double their income in 2016. February 28, 2016, he said that he would double the income of farmers by August 15, 2022. And what is the reality? The reality is that BJP had an income of 570 crores in 2015-16, and by 2022, it had gone up to about 2,600 crores. So Prime Minister Modi quadrupled the income of the BJP, but the farmer is still fighting for his rights on the borders of Delhi. He's not allowed to enter. So I think people are fed up. Our young people have no future. There are always reports of hundreds of thousands, lakhs of people are trying to get a few jobs that the government opens up every now and then. That is the reality. And all this business of, our friend from the BJP, who's a good young person, but they send him with some facts about how the Indian economy is going to be the third biggest economy. I tell him, and Vasudha, you or RTG, that if you were the Prime Ministers of India, in a few years, India's economy is going to be the third biggest economy.
Okay, Mr. Paswan, would you like to respond to that? The points that Mr. Soos has raised, also Mr. Shah.
It is no Modi matter.
Also,
this is
in the last few days, we've also seen federalism and subnationalism, becoming important points that the opposition is raising. Mr. Soos also touched upon that. And, we saw the Congress party and left parties also claiming that there is fiscal discrimination. But let me also point out that the centre also put forward a very powerful rebuttal. Do you think these issues and some of the issues that Mr. Shah and Mr. Soos have pointed out, do you think that this could be a powerful counter to the popularity of the BJP right now?
Vasudha, to be very honest, I have a great amount of respect for my friends from the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress Party. But unfortunately, what they reflect now is poverty of imagination, poverty of thought, and poverty of vision. I am ready. I am throwing an open challenge to do an analysis of data on inflation, on fiscal deficit, on economic growth in terms of Indian economy. We will come to know what's the truth, what's the reality. So there is no point in creating this fear psychosis, Vasudha. The Indian voter is smart enough. The Indian voter combined all of us intelligence, you see he or she is smart enough. Second, I was listening to Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson as well. So the language part, Mr. Rahul Gandhi and his yatra, tumhara malik kaun hai? Aishwarya Rai nachti hai. This is misogynistic, Vasudha. This is beyond my comprehension. This is the leader of the single largest party in the opposition benches making such sexist and misogynistic remark. I just saw people from Karnataka coming out in criticism of that remark. Is it acceptable? Are you going to stoop this low in terms of political discourse in your pursuit of power? Vasudha, you know,
okay,
I come
Jasmine,
from Bihar.
quickly respond
and
to
Mr.
that. I
Nitish
just
Kumar,
have 30 seconds.
He orchestrated the India Alliance.
it is because he spoke, since
Just
Guru
last
Prakash spoke
point.
about language.
Mr. Nitish Kumar orchestrated the India Alliance.
Yes.
What happened to
that.
Mr. Nitish Kumar, sir? Mr. Nitish Kumar conceived the idea of India Alliance, organized the first meeting. You could not keep him as well.
Okay,
Because
Jasmine, would you
Nitish
like
Kumar
to
is a
respond to
backward
that?
person.
Yes,
and Aam Aadmi
I
Party,
want to say that
I
since
throw an
Guru
open
Prakash-
question.
Just let
Please,
Jasmine
it's
respond to that.
my turn. Let me. Mr. Guru Prakash sat here and talked about, language. Now, 50 crore की girlfriend, who used it? His tall leader, Prime Minister Narendra Modi used it. वो बहुत सभ्य भाषा है.
बच्चों की कसम खाता हूँ, राजनीति में नहीं आऊंगा.
अशोक चौहान.
Okay, now we'll have to take this offline. Let me get the last word from Aarti Jairath here, and I'm going to ask you a very, different question, and this is about Rajya Sabha polls. We see the BJP is sending its RS members to fight polls, while opposition parties seem to be giving Rajya Sabha members membership to party members who are not, seen as grassroots workers. What kind of message does that send out? Is there, a lesson that other parties could be learning from there?
Well, the BJP has been very smart with its Rajya Sabha, selections. I think it has tried to balance caste, community, and so on, and tried to give as wide a representation as possible. Frankly, I can't understand the choices of, that some of the opposition parties have made, because, the people who have got tickets don't really seem to be political people or people who can contribute politically to.
Right. But ma'am, there is also this politics of symbolism and, celebration of icons. So, in the run-up to 2024 Lok Sabha elections, do you see this outreach? Today, Prime Minister is in Varanasi, is going to go to Ravidas Temple, which will be seen as an outreach to SC community. We've seen Bharat Ratnas being awarded to Chaudhary Charan Singh, Karpuri Thakur. Would you agree that the expanse of BJP's consolidation strategy is, probably far more micro than the opposition's broad strokes?
Of course. Because I want to say one thing, and I think this is something the opposition parties must understand. Just because they have come together in a seat-sharing arrangement does not necessarily mean that they have strength on the ground. Fighting an election is much more than just pooling your votes. It is booth management. It is getting your voters out to the polling booth on voting day. It is ensuring that they are casting their votes in the right place. It is ensuring that your polling agents are on your side. It's ensuring that the returning officer is not playing dirty. There's a lot of micromanagement that needs to be done. And the BJP, as we know, has this fantastic electoral machinery which does this micromanagement. I don't know whether the India Bloc, yes, they've got this alliance going finally, but does it have that kind of organization to do the micromanagement on the ground to match that BJP's electoral machinery? And I think that is going to be the key question in the days to come.
Right. Thank you very much. Jasmine, would you like to say something?
Yeah, just the last point. I mean, this entire, misconception of BJP machine, let's not forget these individual states. AAP has wiped out BJP in Delhi. How did we fight that if we do not know how to fight elections?
Guru, would you like to
Same
respond to that?
What happened in Gujarat,
West Bengal,
sir?
BJP
What happened in Gujarat?
In BJP.
No, I want to ask my friend. You said, मैं लिख के दे रहा हूँ आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनेगी गुजरात में. You gave it in writing. What happened in Gujarat में जमानत नहीं बची आपकी.
Thank you all of you for joining us on this broadcast. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announcing the poll bugle from his adopted state, Uttar Pradesh, and also from his home state of Gujarat today. And of course, opposition trying to firm up alliances. Much to watch out for in the run-up to 2024 elections. That's all we have for you in this bulletin. More on the other side of this break.